Hello! Today I'm going to talk about how to quit picking and biting at your cuticles. This is something I've struggled with my entire life, and in the past month I've really started a routine to help me quit, and it's been working really well. As you can see, my cuticles are pretty smooth, whereas before they were red, they were irritated, they were jagged, they were bleeding. You can kind of see where it's still kind of a little bit more red there, where my skin is trying to grow back, because I used to just pick all the way around my fingers. A couple weeks ago, I started doing a lot of research on YouTube to see, if anyone else had tips or tricks to kind of help me, because at that point, my routine really only had a few steps. It has a lot more. I will show you them all. And I found that really most of the videos were about picking or biting your nails, and that's not what I was trying to focus on myself. My nails do look a lot nicer now than they did before, partly because I used to have to cut them really short to kind of help me not do as much damage when I picked at my fingers. And then also because my cuticles were so damaged, my nails were really weak and unhealthy. So it has helped my nails, but this video is really more focusing on the cuticles themselves. There was one other video that I found that talked about biting and picking at your cuticles. She goes briefly into looking at the emotional and psychological reasons behind your habit, and if you're interested in that, I've linked it below. I'm going to focus more on products and daily routines to help you with this. So when I was first starting out, I had big deep hangnails and bloody fingers, and it was just an embarrassing mess. So the first thing I turned to was Band-Aids. They're really good, to help take the temptation away because the skin is covered, and they also allow for the skin to heal underneath the Band-Aid. I do specifically recommend Band-Aid brand flexible fabric. I tried so many different Band-Aids, throughout the years, and especially in the last month, and I found that these stay on the longest. And because of the flexible fabric, when you're putting the Band-Aid on, you can really manipulate it to go exactly where you want. A lot of other Band-Aids, when you put them on, especially on the thumb, part of it will cover the knuckle, and then as soon as you bend your knuckle, the Band-Aid kind of comes off, and it's useless. These, they form fit around your fingers. They don't get in the way, and they're really awesome. If you do have open, sores and hangnails, I would recommend getting some sort of antibiotic and pain relief. You can do Neosporin. This is just from CVS. Put that on, the open spot you have, put the Band-Aid on top, and that will keep it nourished and help with the healing process. So that's really great as well. Something to help with the temptation of picking are these, I think they're called worry stones. I got mine at a local rock shop. If you don't have a rock shop, I'm sure you can find them online. They're really good to keep your hands busy throughout the day. In a lot of the videos I watched about nail biting and picking, people would say, ask for suggestions on how to keep their hands busy. I've heard of crocheting or putting on lotion or anything like that. Those are great options, but you can't always do those. If you're in class or you're at work, you can't just start crocheting sometimes. So these are good. They're really discreet. You can throw them in a pocket or in a purse, and they're just something to kind of keep your hands going, to direct that picking energy. So those are really great. Once the big cuts and stuff like that are gone, I found a really, fine grit nail file was helpful to get rid of some of the skin that starts growing in. As it grows in, for me, it would come in and be, really dry and just a little thing that was so easy to pick at that I would turn into something so much worse if I let myself. This is great because it was just really easy to buff off. If I had if the skin is already dead and it's just kind of growing out, it's really great to just buff it off. It leaves your hands nice and smooth. Whereas if you cut it off with a nail file, it leaves it with a harsh edge. And then as that skin grows out, it's just another temptation to pick. So, make sure it's a fine grit. You don't want to be rubbing your hands with a really sandpaper, because that'll just cause more damage. And definitely only recommend this if it's not an open cut, if it's just, some little skin on top. This was really helpful. Also, keeping your hands moisturized is really important. I use a few different lotions. The first is Aveno Daily Moisturizing Lotion. I keep this one in my purse because it soaks in so quickly. It's really great for on the go, at work, you know, just throw it on and keep going. You can get this pretty much anywhere, Target, Walmart, drugstores. So that one's really good for on the go. When I'm at home, I like to use OPI's AvoJuice. I love this stuff. They have a ton of different scents. They're all fantastic. This one takes a little bit longer to soak in, but still does it pretty quickly. So I have one of these by my nightstand. I also have one downstairs, and I use this all throughout the day. Same with the Aveno. I use that all throughout the day. This I got at Ulta, and it's really great stuff. One I use a little bit less frequently is the True Blue Spa Paraffin. I got this at Bath & Body Works. I also love this lotion. It stays greasy for longer, so I really only use this once a week when I give myself a full manicure, which I will talk about a little bit later. I really like it, but like I said, it does stay greasy for longer, so you know, you kind of have to be ready to sit for a little while to let it really soak in. The last cream that I use is the Burt's Bees Almond Milk Beeswax Hand Cream. This stuff is absolutely amazing. It is, it's really thick, so it takes a super long time to soak into the skin, but it is so nourishing and it feels so good on your hands. This one I just keep on my nightstand and I only use before bed because it is so thick. It really takes most of the night to soak in all the way, but you wake up with super soft hands. They feel amazing. This is really good stuff. This you can also get at, you know, Target or Walmart, anything like that. Keeping the cuticles specifically moisturized is also really important, so I have a few different products that I use for that. I have always used Burt's Bees. For years, that was really the only thing I had to help with this little problem that I had. As you can see, I've used a ton of it. This one's a brand new one, but I also have another one that's just as empty somewhere else because I have these all over the place. I have one in my purse, I have one on my nightstand, and I have one in my little manicure kit. This, you know, you can take just a tiny bit and just rub it on your cuticle and go. It is a little bit greasy, so for this one I typically prefer to take a big old glob if I'm going to be watching a movie or, you know, sitting for a while, and I put it on there and I leave it on nice and thick. And then I just sit there and I massage it and I go down all my fingers and I just kind of keep doing that over and over and over again. It keeps my hands busy so I don't go to pick at my fingers, and it also, you know, keeps the product on for a really long time. In watching a lot of the videos about nail care, I've heard a lot of people say that massaging your cuticles, getting them warm and stimulated, helps with nail growth. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that it feels really good. It gets the product really deep and, you know, it gets your cuticles really moisturized. And, you know, if it does have the added benefit of nail growth, then that is fantastic. So, Burt's Bees, awesome product. Definitely recommend this one. Another cuticle thing or product that I've been using is Creative Nail Designs Solar Oil. I got this at OPI and I have been loving it. It's an oil, so it's definitely greasy, but again, if I'm going to be sitting for a while, I just throw it on the nail and then massage it as I'm sitting and watching TV or, you know, laying in bed, anything like that. This stuff is great. It feels really good. It makes the nails look really nice. Both of these products, if you want to leave them on while you're going about your day, sometimes I'll just take a cloth and just wipe the pads of my fingers to get those clean and then leave the product sitting on top. It will get things greasy as you touch them, but it's not too bad. I've also just recently started using Creative Nail Designs Cuticle Eraser, both the Creative Nail Design products I got at Ulta. I've only used this 2 days now, and it says to use it every day, so I've only had it for 2 days, but it came so highly recommended by everybody that I just had to try it. You just put a little dab on your finger and then rub it in. You know, I can't talk about long-term effects, but I do know that it makes your cuticles feel really soft. They look really good after you put it on, so I'm pretty excited to have this added to my routine, and I will use that, you know, as recommended every day. The cuticle oil and the Burt's Bees I use multiple times a day. You know, if I have a more busy day, I try and do one of them each at least once. If I have a little bit more of a slow day, I'll do them, you know, as many times as I can. One more cuticle product that I've been using is Sally Hansen's Cuticle Rehab. This is probably my least favorite of the cuticle products, but I still like it. It's really handy because it comes in a little brush, so you don't have to get your fingers dirty at all. You just kind of brush it on there real quick. I will actually use this, you know, even if I'm working at my computer, because you can just brush it on and not, you know, get all your fingers messy. The pads of your fingers stay dry, and so I'll just throw that on top and then go about, you know, typing or whatever. So I like this, but I would definitely, if I'm ever sitting or, you know, able to spend time, I like to use the Burt's Bees or the solar oil better. This I think I just picked up at like Target. It's pretty much everywhere as well. Then I have, so once a week, those are the products I use pretty much daily. Once a week I give myself a little manicure, and some of the products I use for that are, I use Sally Hansen's Instant Cuticle Remover. So I do this once a week. It has a little applicator tip. You just throw it around the nail, leave it on for 15 seconds, and then use a little cuticle pusher. You can get these anywhere. You can get this anywhere also. And then just, you know, very carefully push down your cuticles, kind of scrape away the dead skin that's in there. It takes away, you know, the possibility of temptation to pick at it. If it's not there, you can't pick it. So that's really great. I do have a cuticle clipper. I don't like to use it a bunch for much the same reason that I said I don't use nail clippers on my skin a lot. It does leave the harsh edge that makes it more tempting to pick as it grows out. But I do have it, you know, if I have a really long hangnail, I'll kind of cut it down before using things like a Band-Aid or, you know, cuticle oil. A lot of times if it's just little dry skin, if you just throw on some Burt's Bees or cuticle oil, it'll go away to the point where, you know, you can't really pick at it. So then I also have a glass nail file. This one I got at Sally's. This I use on my actual nails themselves. Because my nails started growing in nicely, I realized I needed to start taking care of them. So that's just for simple filing and shaping. Then I also use OPI's Nail Envy. I got this at Ulta as well. And it's just a nail strengthener. It's really great. I don't like to always have my nails painted a color. Sometimes I like them natural. So, you know, for me, I have really thin and weak nails. I don't know if you can see, that's already with 2 coats of OPI. They're super thin. Even with that, they're still bendable. So, you know, if I didn't put something on, they are absolutely straight across, no bend to them at all, and basically as thin as paper. So for me, this is, you know, I put it on pretty much every time. If I do want a color, I recommend Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel. It's, you don't need a light for it, so it just, you know, it dries like a normal nail polish. It's a 2-part system. I thought that it stayed on really well. I thought it wore really well, and it made my nails a lot thicker, you know, like gels typically do. So if I do want a color, this is what I'll go for when I'm doing my, you know, little manicure routine. So using all those products in combination, I've gotten to where I am right now. Like I said, this is a huge improvement for me. I have never seen my fingers look like this before. Definitely, you know, I'm not done yet. You still, you know, I still have little pieces come up as they're growing in. You can kind of see right there, there's a little something. I'll probably take the file. Oh, that may have almost fixed it. Just the little cuticle oil I had on my fingers. But, you know, that's something I would just take the little file to just kind of buff away. So this system has been working for me really well. I'm really excited to keep going with it. And I really hope that, you know, if you're struggling with something similar, that something in here has helped you today. Maybe, you know, you take away one piece of it or the whole routine like crazy me. And I hope it helps you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.